So if we have an employee who we know is pregnant and they're on what we perceive to be a medical leave as a result of the pregnancy, the first question I'd want to ask is, have they told us they're pregnant? So we know they're pregnant. And did they inform us they have a medical issue related to their pregnancy and they're out of work? That would be the first questions I'd want the answer to.
So
And we
they
have
have,
the answers to those questions.
yes, they have informed us they are on medical leave for a reason not related to their pregnancy.
Okay, so then have they been gone 3 full days?
Yes.
Have you sent them the FMLA documentation, FMLA CFRA documentation?
Yes, and they took their time, but they did send it back to me. It met our requirements, and I did send them a designation letter.
Okay,
Uh,
then what's the question?
the question is that the expected dates of this medical leave will run into the anticipated start date of her pregnancy leave, and I just want to make sure that I know how to track both of those items and get the documentation I need.
Okay, this is a really good question. The question is, which leaves supersede which leaves? If you've got an employee who's eligible for pregnancy disability leave, which means they're eligible for FMLA leave, and they run concurrent, and then they've got a medical issue that is unrelated to the pregnancy, and they reported they have a medical issue that is unrelated to the pregnancy, and we have got documentation that says they have a serious medical condition unrelated to the pregnancy, that's FMLA CFRA. So we want to run FMLA CFRA together for the medical issue that is unrelated to the pregnancy. Then I would probably, and when she's going to be gone, do we know the date? If she's going to be gone until she has the baby. So we have an anticipated delivery date in the middle of this. My approach would probably be to contact the employee a couple of days, maybe before the delivery date, to just see if they have had the baby yet, or to remind them to let us know when they have the child, because that's all we're really looking for right now. Then once we know that they've had the child, it's going to be their choice, really, because they get 4 months of pregnancy disability leave, but typically it's only going to last 6 to 8 weeks, and it runs concurrent with FMLA, but not with CFRA. Now, why does that matter? Because we're going to run FMLA CFRA together because they said it's not related to the pregnancy. That means they're preserving PDL if they have postpartum depression or something more serious after the pregnancy, irregardless of whether they have FMLA or CFRA regular medical leave available. Then once the pregnancy occurs, we want to let them know. We need to educate our employees, everybody, and let them make the choice. You now are eligible for pregnancy disability leave for at least 6 to 8 weeks. Would you like to switch to that? I probably am going to want to encourage them to switch to that. It will continue to run concurrent with FMLA. We're going to want something from their doctor that lets us know they are now disabled because of the birth of the baby, without making it too complex, just to allow them to let us use PDL so we can protect them and protect their CFRA longer, because CFRA won't run with the PDL. And the CFRA protects their time for grandchildren and adult children and grandparents. And that's why this is important to understand when FMLA PDL runs together, when FMLA CFRA runs together, and then we save those 12 weeks of CFRA baby bonding for after the PDL has exhausted. And then it would be, okay, it ran into the birth of the baby. Does the medical certificate then extend beyond the recovery of the birth of the baby? And it's still not a pregnancy-related condition. And now we're talking about ADA. Please remember, Pregnancy Workers Fairness Act will run concurrent to PDL in California, but it doesn't need to run concurrent to ADA because it is happening at the same time as ADA, unless for some reason there's an accommodation at work that would be ADA, and the leave is for the Pregnancy Workers Fairness Act. I know this is sounding complicated because I can hear myself saying it and it sounds complicated. But maybe, Maddie, you can
letters.
throw up the Venn diagram really quickly, and we can just really point to it very fast and go over it a little more smoothly. So we're really talking about how do you walk the employee through these multiple protection buckets and still maintain the integrity of compliance with each one of them and provide them an opportunity to understand why they would choose one over the other. And if they get too confused, everybody, make a choice for them that protects them the most. And in this case, it would be CFRA FMLA without PDL, then PDL to protect the CFRA. So the CFRA FMLA without PDL, because she said it's not PDL related, and this is the United States or California, everybody. And then it would be PDL while she's recovering from the birth of her baby, which won't run concurrent to CFRA, baby bonding, but will run concurrent to FMLA. And then it will be CFRA after that for baby bonding, unless she still has a medical condition related to the pregnancy. And then it could continue to be PDL for up to 4 months or 17 and a third weeks, everybody. So it could be PDL for 17 and a third weeks after she has the baby. And if it's still a medical condition that's being exacerbated by the pregnancy, then the pregnancy has its own medical condition. Then it could turn into either PDL, Pregnancy Workers Fairness Act, and then Pregnancy Workers Fairness Act if the medical issue is still related to the pregnancy, or just ADA at that time because FMLA was already exhausted potentially, and now she needs additional leave. So when you're talking about leave, I'm going to take a breath and do the whole thing again very slowly. So when you're talking about leave for an individual who is pregnant and they've informed you that the leave they're requesting is not related to the pregnancy, in the state of California, you're talking about FMLA CFRA if it's more than 3 days of leave and you've got a certificate that informs you that they're qualified. When that certificate runs into the anticipated delivery date, we have a responsibility to inform the employee, and I would be doing this all along, everybody. As soon as you know and you're talking to them, letting them know we've approved you, just want to let you know that you'll be eligible for pregnancy disability leave that runs concurrent if you have any FMLA left, not with CFRA, but with FMLA, once the baby is born, or you're put off work because you're about to give birth, either one, and it could be 6 weeks on either side or even longer if it's the medical certificate continues because they have a medical condition impacted by the pregnancy. This is going to be potentially Pregnancy Workers Fairness Act and FMLA and pregnancy disability leave. FMLA is going to run out first. Pregnancy disability leave is going to run out next.
Once you have the baby, they have pregnancy disability leave with FMLA, with Pregnancy Workers Fairness Act in the state of California, until the medical condition is no longer related to the pregnancy. But when we have post-traumatic stress disorder and things like that, those are all still related to the pregnancy potentially. So they could be part of the Pregnancy Workers Fairness Act. I'm not sure if we've nailed all of that down yet. So let's make sure, Maddie, that we confirm that part of the video and we add that extra data. But once you're done with a pregnancy-related disability after a baby is born or before a baby is born, that's an FMLA, CFRA, or an ADA in California, ADA FEHA issue. Everything related to the pregnancy, everybody, please make sure you fully inform the employees why you're switching to another regulatory compliance benefit that protects them. And then keep in mind that the FMLA, CFRA, and PDL protect their health care benefits. And the Pregnancy Workers Fairness Act and ADA and FEHA do not. So when you are tiering your benefits in terms of providing the employee the best opportunity to utilize the benefits. They are clearly eligible based on the data we have. You're always going to start with the most beneficial one, and that's FEMLA CFRA PDL in California. So I know that was a lot of information, but that's really how we approach all this stuff is what are they asking for? What regulation are they needing based on the situation? And do they comply with it? Are they eligible? Did they provide us all the data? And if one regulation provides benefit and medical protections and job protection, and the other one just provides job protection, you'll use the one that provides both the medical benefits and the job protection first to support the employee. I can tell you, Meredith, what I do is I really spend time pre-explaining to employees, everybody, what they could run into based on what we anticipate the leave to be. So, and especially when they are going to be transferring from one regulation to another, so they understand why they're getting different letters. And if they've got a family member that comes with them that's going to be helping them with that, even better. And I want to let them know when that they're going to be getting benefits cut off at some point, if that's going to be anticipated. And I let them know that if they are providing repetitive extensions and new certificates for FEMLA, that if they do that under PDL, that's not going to be problematic, but they don't get to do that under ADA. And they don't get to do that under Pregnancy Workers Fairness Act unless it's so obvious we would have known without the data itself. So that's the stuff that I really explain to employees while they're happy and asking me for help.
Yeah, that ship has sailed. So that's sort of where I'm at.
So thank you, everybody. Thank you for joining us. We appreciate you guys letting us tape some of this stuff. People appreciate getting that feedback. And we'll see you in a couple weeks.
Thanks for your time.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
everyone.
Thank you so
Bye.
much.
Thanks, Maddie.